Welcome to Crochet ADHD. I'm your host, Jackie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. You're a one-hit wonder. I am so happy you're here. If you are a repeat offender, a member of the GlamFam, nobody doesn't like Sarah Lee. Y'all, today, wait a minute. Much better. It is Chit-Chat Cafe. It has been so long since we've done a Chit-Chat Cafe. What does that mean? It basically means that we chit, we chat, we crochet. I am going to discuss something while crocheting, and y'all are free to respond down in the comments. Again, it's been so long, I almost forgot exactly how we do this. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be working on. Because I talk with my hands, not a lot of crocheting gets done, but I'm trying. I am making another granny shawl. I'm doing some serious stash busting with these granny shawls. This is what I'm going to work on. And I think I might actually be able to make some real progress because the granny stitch is just so easy. Not Hetty and I have been doing some rearranging and some clearing out of this craft space, which it is long overdue. Let's get into the chat, shall we? First off, was there some sort of message that went out to the fiber community that I missed where it said, this is the perfect time of year to talk about or show yarn organization? It seems like everywhere I look now, I'm seeing a bunch of yarn organization videos. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, we started doing this and I was like, okay, maybe we could film this, and show bits and pieces. And I might even like splice some of that into this video. I don't know. But then I was just like, well, if everybody else and her grandmother is doing it, then it's just going to look like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. But I'm not. I started doing this last year. Stephanie from Texas Peach Knits, she started this thing called Fluff Your Stash. And it's encouraging you to kind of go through your yarn and see what you have. Maybe you've got, several project bags that have old languishing whips in them. You can decide to either finish it or frog it. You have an old pattern that you've been dying to use and you use it. So it's encouraging you to kind of move around your yarn, whether it's to move it around to get rid of it, move it around to reclaim it because, from an old whip, or just to get involved with it. And I really like the idea. I did it last year and I'm doing it again this year. So is this like something that we do in the summer, maybe because it might be too hot to actually sit and knit and crochet something? I don't know, but that is not what today's Chit Chat Cafe is about. Y'all are not going to even believe this. As y'all know, if you watch the retro videos that I posted recently, I had expressed some opinions about the granny square, and up until September of 2023, I held strong to those feelings. And then when I needed a no brain, let me just feel my feels, but I need to make a shawl pattern in it. And the one that I found happened to be a granny shawl pattern. I fell in love with the granny stitch. That, I'll just say it like that. It has been a immense source of comfort to me ever since then. It felt weird, reposting those videos because of, how much I've changed since then. But if y'all have been with me since the beginning, then you can see it as the growth that it was. But once again, That is not what this is about. But I have to lay this groundwork because I feel like it's important to the story. Not Hetty and I are going through my, how did I want to word? We are redistributing the exhibits in my yarn museum. We found some that was like really pretty. It's I picked it up last year at Fiber Fun in the Sip. It was the, who made the yarn? I'll have editing Jackie put the information there, but it's a merino nylon stellina, and it's like black, purple, navy blue. It's drop dead gorgeous. And we were thinking about how it would look great as like some sort of Twilight Zone shawl. So then we were talking about that, and she says, maybe you could do it with a granny stitch. And I said, okay, but I don't know how that would work as a, the spiral. And she said, well, because when you make it, there's squares. I said, no, the shawl is not a square. The shawl is a triangle. She said, but there's squares. Okay. So me not being able to see what it is that she was seeing, I physically went and got my yarn. Okay. I got my yarn and I said, okay. And I showed her how you start the granny shawl. And she says, but it's a square, even though it's okay. So here's where it just blew my mind. If y'all already knew this, shame on you for keeping it from me. I thought we were friends. So she's insisting that they're squares while I'm showing her the shawl, right? Okay, so here's a shawl. Clearly, that is a triangle or a square, right? Because if I make the other and I say, okay, so technically it's a half granny shawl. And she said, no, that they're squares. And I was like, no. Look. Do y'all see the squares? Every single row, every time you do the three double crochets in the chain one space, we are technically making squares.
What?
So I'm sitting there just dumbfounded. And she says, what if the reason why the granny square was created is because a woman was teaching her daughter how to crochet, and grandma, because, granny, right? Granny said,
well, here, baby, I'm going to make you a swatch. And a swatch is a square.
So if granny sat down and made a swatch to show granddaughter how to make these double crochet stitches, so here we have granny's swatch just trying to show her how you make the stitches, and they just started calling it the granny square because of the squares inside, not the actual. Y'all, now all I see are all the hundreds of little squares that are living inside of my granny shawl. Did y'all know that? Okay. And by the way, this has not actually been done. We have not done any research on it because I'm still stuck on stupid with this thought. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find a non-crocheter in your life, and I want you to show them a granny, something granny, but not the square, because I feel like that's too on the nose. I want to know if other people who are not crocheters see the squares inside. I mean, seriously, I can't not see the squares. I showed it to my husband. My husband is a very, very, very special man. Being difficult for him is sport. So I'm trying to explain to him this donkey kicked me in the face, slapped me. It just, I'm trying to explain it to him. And I asked him, do you see a square? And he said,
no, I see a diamond.
Because he's, well, yeah, you the diamond because you turned it. Oh! My whole life has been flipped, turned upside down because my daughter has me second guessing everything I know. And now all I see are squares, y'all. Everywhere I look, I see squares. Did she just make that up? I mean, is she like gaslighting me? Because I feel like, she could totally gaslight me. Not to say that she's a bad person or anything, but I mean, you can't say gaslight and good person in the same sentence, I suppose. Also, it's been a day since this information was revealed to me, and I'm still kind of trying to process that. It makes so much sense though. So, I mean, I could get down deep into my studies and then, research the whole thing and really give you an answer. Also, okay, I know what else I wanted to say. Reorganizing your yarn museum can be a little, what's that word? Can be a little, it's like you you have yarn, but you don't realize how much yarn you have until you touch it. And there's a lot. And so, we're going through, because I got like these storage containers, and I'm pointing up here because this is kind of where it's been located. There used to be a table that sat like right here. Well, back here, that's on a different table. So that table's always been there, but there used to be a table that was closer up right by, well, you can't even see where it was because it's not here anymore. And so that's where I had like my Holst yarn was here, and we put that into some containers. So we've kind of reshuffled all of that around. So all the yarn is here now, and I'm still trying to clear out the closet of shame because my husband wants that space, and apparently in that space he needs a closet. Bringing out that yarn to mix in with the other yarn that's been in here, it's a task, y'all. It's like I have to coming face to face with my mortality, even though it's just yarn, but also it's going to give me another opportunity to perhaps part ways with some yarn that I've had, but I'm just not going to use because I either just don't like the yarn anymore. My tastes have changed. Sometimes that happens. And I know I'm just, even in looking at some of the yarn here, talking to y'all, I'm like, okay, I can definitely see parting ways. And a lot of the craft stuff that I had in this room, and it was a lot. My local Buy Nothing group has been very, very grateful to me. And I love that, there's other people that will be able to do something with the stuff that has just been honestly just collecting dust for the last few years. I'm good with that. I recommend highly looking into your yarn collection and just kind of getting reacquainted with it. Get rid of stuff that you don't like anymore. And it's okay if you don't like yarn that you used to like before. Everybody, your tastes change. Your tastes change. Let's just say you have a bunch of cotton, like the Peaches and Cream or Lily and Pops or whatever that is. If you have that kind because you used to love making washcloths, but now you don't like making washcloths anymore, you can sell it. You can give it away. You can post it on your local Buy Nothing group on Facebook. It gives you more room to get more of the yarn that you would like. Or it just gives you more room because your husband says you can't have yarn in every room of the house for some reason. I don't know. I'm giving you permission to purge what you don't like. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that because, you know, I don't want you to purge your husband. Purge the yarn that is no longer part of your making life today. I encourage you to look at the Texas Peach Knits challenge right now. I think it ends the end of August. I could be wrong. I'm not certain. Even if you find out about it too late to participate in the challenge, still look at the challenge and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as how creative she was in coming up with all of these different ways that you can fluff your stash. I, for one, am happy. I'm looking at a lot of yarn that I have not seen in a little while, like up close and personal. And I even pulled when we were pulling all the yarn off, I put into a project bag the Leo and Roxy yarn that I want to make a Leo and Roxy shawl out of. I like the idea of doing that. That was kind of cool. I have one other project that I absolutely know what yarn I'm going to use for it. So I should probably put that also in a project bag. And you know, when I first got this project bag, I wasn't so wowed about it, but I love the peekaboo window. I really like that. Y'all remember this yarn? This is the Leo and Roxy Basics. That is insanely soft. Why she calls it Basics, I don't know. It is so dreamy. What is it? It's 75/25 merino wool and nylon. And it's very affordable. Now I know that the rates for shipping, just even inside of the United States, the rates for shipping have become ridiculous. And I think in Canada they added another fee onto their shipping. It's making that kind of international purchasing just a little bit more costly than it had been even 6 months ago. So, and I have not taken a look at any Canadian companies since then, and I feel bad because I miss Tyler. I miss my Arcane Fiberworks, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. That was all part of, you know, when I made the sweater the sweater that cost me my Crojo. And it's not the yarn's fault. I know for a fact it was not the yarn's fault, but maybe I think it's still somewhat subconsciously connected to Arcane Fiberworks because that was the yarn that was, I don't know. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm not. I like the idea of a peekaboo bag, and I like the idea of putting yarn that I already know for a fact that I'm going to make something with, and I know what it is, to put it in a bag so that way it might be like the next thing that I reach for when I finish a project. Theoretically. I only did this much, which isn't a lot, but it is a lot. Oh, no, I did more than that. I think I did like maybe this much from here. The next time I do this, I'm going to put a stitch marker in where I start, and that way we can really judge how far I've gone. I do know that I did start this whole new row, and I think, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I didn't need the 8th row. It was only supposed to be 7. 7, 10, 7. Yeah. There. Now it's time for the new color. And the last color is this green right here. Because my friend said that she likes certain colors, but she didn't want the shawl to be too terribly long. So I think another set of 7 with that dark green is going to be the perfect size for her. So yay. All right, so let's wrap up, shall we? Apparently tis the season to fluff your stash, reorganize your yarn, reconnect with all of your little fiber friends that live in your home. The granny square may have never had anything to do with an actual square, but the squares within the squares. If you like this video, please like this video. Leave me a comment. What are you doing this summer? What are you doing to keep your fiber love alive? Are you continuing to crochet, or are you finding some sort of adjacent projects to work on because it's just too hot? If you want to stick around and become a member of the GlamFam, you can do that by clicking that subscribe button. And don't forget to rock that notification bell. Until next time, I've been Jackie.